Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Wardy's Waffle. I'm come back to Henry's floods at Short Ferry, just east of Lincoln, just to show you what they're like. As you can see, not a lot's happening. Anyway, we'll get on to that in a minute. So in this update, we're looking at the floods here. I've also got a little clip from Henry. Henry put something on social media earlier in the week, which I'll put on in a minute. And then also we're having more from Barry doing out the dikes and at our end and with the tree shear, and then a few other snippets around the farm. Anyway, we'll crack on first of all, and here's Henry with his 2.5 minute video.
Right, morning everyone. I just thought I'd do a bit of a video because I'm properly fed up this morning. I just want to show you why, really. So behind me is my farm, covered in water, which everyone's now fed up of seeing, but least of all me. So over just there is the house and the yard. And there's my farm completely underwater. It is deep here. It will be 2.5 metres, 3 metres deep next to the riverbank here. And then with my land and other neighbouring farmers, there's close to 2,000 acres underwater. So now walking over a bridge over what is called the old River Witham. Just out of interest, there's a tree growing in the middle of it. Not ideal. And where I'm walking to is across the other side of this bridge is something called Branston Island Flood Storage Reservoir. It's a 250 acre block of land that is a flood storage reservoir used to store floodwater, funnily enough. And I'll just show you what it looks like at the minute. Dry. No water on it, not been used to store flood water, but my farm and a lot of neighbours' land getting used to store flood water on it. I mean, it just beggars belief. How is that fair? That flood storage reservoir is designed to, well, according to Environment Agency press release, it's designed to protect over 7,000 houses and properties in Lincoln and surrounding area. How many houses are we protecting? No end. And prime agricultural land, which this is, you know, grows potatoes, grow anything on this land. Prime agricultural land now been used to protect an Environment Agency flood storage reservoir. Blood's boiling, to be honest. I'm completely sick of it. How am I meant to make a living with this? It's just ridiculous.
So what do you make of that? This flood storage area that Henry's talking about is behind me across there. You can't see it from here, but it is empty. Yet Henry has got all this water on this land here. You can tell I'm just speechless with this, because I think poor Henry is really struggling with everything we've got here, all the water he's got, losing crops, just finished lambing, a lot going on. And we've got to do something about this, because the whole thing is not acceptable. It's just not acceptable to somebody young in farming, trying to, if you like, produce food, put food on people's plates, trying to make a living and make a profit. And when you get situations like this, when the Environment Agency aren't really interested. So yeah, just unbelievable situation. I just can't believe what's going on here, and the Environment Agency just don't seem worried about it. Looks like Nala's found something she's having to dig. Anyway, they're the pipes that should be having a pump connected to the other end, and they're not doing. I've brought Roger, neighbouring farmer of mine who we bought some land from years and years ago, farms in neighbouring village, with us here. And I've got Michael, our agronomist, as well, and my future son-in-law is here with us as well. But we're just having a look across here. We're going to walk down to the breach, which is up there. So I've just come up to where the hole in the bank is, and that's all the reeds and the rubbish that should be taken out. And this is where the hole just see it's flowing back into the river. See it actually going back in. But when you look, that, yes, I think that's it. Yeah. You see the river is moving. So just walking back to the pub, and look at this. It's been held up by the trees in the river. So those people that say the debris in the river doesn't hold it up, here, perfect example that it does. I've just been talking to Rob, the landlord of the pub here, who you've met before, you've seen on these videos before, and I mentioned about there's no pumps here. That's because now they've got submersible pumps here that are actually under the water. And apparently there's two guys in a van, you can just see back there. There's a Enterprise hire van there. They're security because all around Lincolnshire, where they've had all these pumps running and all over the winter, there's been a lot of theft and vandalism. The fuel's been taken, pumps have been vandalised, so they've had to have security put on at all these areas, which is just ridiculous that you've got people around who will vandalise and take this and affect this sort of job that they're trying to do and get rid of this water off people's land and out people's homes. Just incredible people do that. But anyway, that's what it is. Got Rob stood next to me, landlord. We saw him before talking about the year-end job. Rob, we were just saying about what's happening. They're going to start repairs next week.
Only next Monday they're starting to do a temporary repair on the breach up on the river there to try and hold the river back if it comes up again.
Yeah. So what they're going to do? They're not piling it this time.
They're not piling it yet. It's a temporary repair just to hold the river back as much as they can.
Yeah.
While we get through the winter.
So what's the temporary repair consist of? Any idea?
From what I understand, it's just going to be stones and clay.
Right. So they're going to build a metal pontoon again.
Yes.
Right.
A pontoon with a digger on, I believe, or some sort of equipment.
That's what they had before, didn't they?
Exactly the same as last time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then probably then, if that's what they maybe want as much water as they can on it to do that repair, so that's maybe why the pumps aren't
Quite
on.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, they need to be able to get the pontoon across to repair it.
Yeah.
So probably the hole just holding some water in there so they can get across.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No. No. What's your? I mean, thoughts on this are just horrendous, aren't they?
Yeah. This time it could have been prevented.
Yes, it could.
The bank was the road was dry. It was starting to recede off the farmland. The river was well down. They could have put a temporary fix in there just to hold it. So when it came up again, like it did last week, it didn't
come out.
Well, you can see what's happened.
Yeah. Right. Well, we'll come back next week and have a look at the repair and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Rob. Some of you have seen me post some pictures from Steve Evans. He's a farmer from Pembrokeshire in Wales, a dairy farmer, and he got TB a few months ago, and I've posted 1 or 2 videos of him just to highlight the plight and how bad the Welsh Government are at doing something about this. I've got another clip that I'm going to put in now from Steve. He's just had another 40 cattle go to be slaughtered because of TB. I think that takes him up to 180 now altogether that he's had go. I'm not quite sure how long in the last year, or maybe it's a lot less than a year actually. But yeah, really, really tragic. But the Welsh Government just are not doing anything about it. So here's Steve just to explain the situation, what's going on.
Evening everybody, only me again. Just out with what's left of our herd of cows. 40 empty spaces tonight, which is a bit of a sickener. I just want to talk about it really, because it's a huge impact on us emotionally, financially, and it's a job to quantify emotions and how I feel about it. But yeah, I feel sick about it, angry, and the only way I can describe it is just as if I had a proper kick in the bollocks. And not just me, parents, lads who work with us. You know, it's a funny old day. I mean, look, we all have animals that leave the farm, you know, through various reasons. But when it comes to something that can so easily be dealt with, as we've seen in England, and yet the only difference between England and here is the politics around TB and the eradication process, and it's totally unacceptable to continue down the path of repeating failure. So Welsh Government have got a job to do. They've got to acknowledge the failure that they are overseeing, because look, there's a massive threat excuse me, to food security if this continues. Not an enjoyable experience once again. Just having a look around the shed. Yeah, like I said, 40 spaces in this shed after today, and the battle isn't over, unfortunately. You know, it's a travesty what's going on, and yeah, a little bit emotionally beaten up. I'm quite happy to admit that after today. Yeah, people always talk about economics when you lose cows, but it's not just the money. It's not just the money, it's the mental side as well.
So there you have it, horrendous situation in Wales. The government aren't recognising that badgers are the root cause of this, and are quite happy for cattle to be slaughtered and yet leaving the source of it running about, causing havoc. And for anybody who doubts that culling badgers does work, this is the slide of what happens in England, how you can see the numbers have dropped, they've plummeted because of the cull that's been going on here for a while now, and that's really working, and this is what needs to happen in Wales. It's an absolutely terrible situation. So thanks, Steve, for that. We're all thinking of you, and the Welsh Government really just need holding to account. While we're on to the subject of this sort of thing, some of you will have seen the No Farmers, No Food social media movement, if you like, or account that sprung up in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I am part of that. I'll tell you now, I am part of that. There's a small group of us farmers, and James Melville, who's started it, and we're all looking at the same goal, which is promoting sustainable food production, but actually getting a fair price for the produce that we grow, because that is one of the biggest problems. It's causing huge mental health issues around farming. So if you see that, please follow it, please like it, and please interact with it. We do not have any political connections, contrary to 1 or 2 people saying this on social media, which really infuriates me, because that is not right, that is not happening. There is no connections with the far right or any political party. We are farmers. We are farmers that are promoting what we do in healthy food production, because at the minute our food and our self-sufficiency is dropping at an alarming rate, and we all know that. So please interact with that. If you have any videos that you'd like me to post or like me to send through and post from the No Farmers, No Food site, please do that. Please send me some videos, because we need to get as much traction, as much publicity about what we're trying to do and about where our food comes from, but also about the unfairness in the supply chain, because the supermarkets are making huge profit at the expense of the farmers that's producing this food. So please interact with it. Send me any videos if you need to do that. Anyway, yeah, and great. Thanks very much for listening to this bit about the No Farmers, No Food initiative. I have just opened a parcel from a follower of YouTube. Thank you very, very much. Some Poochie biscuits for Nala and Frankie. Nala, thank you. Yes, Frankie is under the desk. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Really appreciate this. Thank you. No, the parcel, we're just taking a bit of locating it, but we have found it. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. The dogs are going to be very, very happy. Thank you. We have got everything in here. There is liver and bacon bones. What else have we got? Cheese bones. Oh, do you know, I reckon I might have one of these. Pooches. This is the company. So this is the company who've made these and very kindly sent them. So if you'd like some of these, they've got outlets in 370 different locations around the country. This is where to get them from. Fantastic. Let's have a look what else we've got. Dog treats. And I think these bag of sprats, they are for the cats. And as you know, we've got 3 farm cats, Archie, Buster and Missy. Some more treats. Look at this. There is a whole box full of them. Thank you so much. Fish fingers as well. Thank you so much. You are so kind. So that is a liver and bacon one. We'll see. Now they can be a bit picky. Let's see whether she's not. Oh, yes, she's very gentle. What about you, Frankie? Oh, that's it. Straight under the desk to your bed. Oh, that's great. There'll be lovely flavour. Nice and hard for them as well to get the teeth on. Look at that. That nice? Thank you. Where's Frankie? Oh, she's under my desk. That good, Frankie? No, she's gone out of the way. Starting to see a few heaps now here where Barry's done. So that's what he did there 2 ago. It's made a big difference there. And then, crikey, this side. Somebody has actually commented on after the I put up the Wardy's Waffle update on Wednesday night about coming in to chip this, which maybe isn't a bad idea, all these heaps, but the problem is it's so wet on these margins, as you can see from the mess the excavator's made. It's so wet that it's getting to them. That's the only problem. We'll have to see. Looks like Frankie's doing what her name suggests. Badger hunting. Frankie? Frankie? Well, this will be a fantastic job. But look how this bank's been undercut here. Let's get at it from the other way. Shows better where these bends are. So because of that bend in the river there, you can see when the water's gushing down here, it's forcing it straight into there before it does that. This is why bends aren't very good. Perfect example, that is, of why bends aren't very good on rivers. You can see here, that's where the badgers have been, all in there. There's a lot of disruption there. We've left that oak tree. Shame to take that down. See how the roots there growing right down in the water. So that one, if it is in the way when we come to do this out, when we come to actually shape the banks and things here, we'll move that and transplant it. We don't want to get rid of that. It's a really good oak tree. There's Barry in the distance. Got a drain running well along here. Those roots won't be doing that any good. So the field at the back, it's 36 acres. There's 3 drains come out of it. There's one comes that way, one's there near the bridge and one further up. Then all the field is what we call herringboned into this main drain. That's the main 6-inch drain there. Shows it's working. I can't believe how wet it is here. Never been as bad as this before. And that's this excavator's done that bit. The whole of this lot needs reshaping up here. It's really bad, this bank. Just see now, the clip you saw a minute ago is from that side of the bank. Just see here, taking all this corner out. Big difference here, made a cracking job. Drain now from the neighbours, so our neighbours are going to benefit from this. And then we've got to change his buckets when he gets all this done and come back and take these roots out the bottom and bring back some slippages, slope the bank back where it slipped in a bit. This corner, it's gone. You can see it's dropped right down from here. There was a feeder, sorry, there was a pheasant at this feeder just there. That just shows that even though the songbird feeders are there, feeding from there, anything they litter out of the birds get this at the bottom. So that's it for another Sunday's edition of Wardy's Waffle. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you didn't mind me posting the videos from Steve in Pembrokeshire. That's going on all over Wales, not just Steve's area. It's absolutely catastrophe what the Welsh Government are doing, so we need to highlight that. Next update obviously is going to be next midweek. I'm going to the NFU conference on Tuesday, Wednesday next week, so there'll be some footage from that. I'm involved in the elections of the office holders. That's the president, the deputy, and the vice president. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you midweek.